Welcome. Today I'm going to be adding some fun lighting to my boys' bedroom. The reason being is we're moving their room around. They have a kind of bunk bed where the underbed is separate, and I've decided that I'm going to move their room around a little bit to try and give us a bit more space and access to things. And in that process, the bottom bed is no longer actually going to be physically underneath the top bed, giving the boys a little space to kind of play. But it might be a little bit dark under there, so I'm going to be taking this 12-volt WS2812 LED strip and sticking it around the bottom of the upper bunk to give them some fun lighting. I'm also going to take one of the Sonoff Zigbee buttons and I'm going to place it under there for them so that they can cycle through the different WLED animations that I will be running on this strip. So let's take a look at how I've got it set up. First things first, because this is a 12-volt strip, I'm going to be wiring the board a little bit differently to usual. I'm going to be wiring the board to the 3 strands that go into the strip, but I've also got a separate power cable and ground going off to a 12-volt power supply, which will be plugged into this barrel connector here, and no USB-C cable plugged into this port. This will be powered from the power going into this barrel connector, and that power will run down into the 12-volt strip. And I will be taking care not to try and power the board from USB-C, because that could damage any part of this setup. So let's go and stick the strip to the bottom of their bed and try and run the wires so that they can't reach them. Part of the reason for using this particular LED strip is it's got a built-in diffuser, and therefore none of the contacts on the board are exposed, and it's very flexible and hopefully a bit more kid-proof. The only wires coming out of it are at the beginning of the strip here, and they will be tucked away where they can't access them. Okay, so here I am underneath their bunk bed, just securing the LED strip around the underside with 3M sticky tape. I've stuck pieces of tape in between the bolts that hold the bed together, and luckily, because the strip is very flexible, it works quite nicely and fits almost the entire way around the underside of the bed. So now to just give it a quick test, and we can move on to setting up the button. So in Home Assistant, I've just gone to Settings, into the ZHA Zigbee settings and put it into pairing mode and pulled the battery tab out of the Sonoff button, and as you can see it's just paired successfully very quickly, and we just need to give the button a name and select the room it goes in. Once we've done that, we can go back to Settings, Integrations in Home Assistant and plug in the controller, and it will appear here under WLED Integration, and we just give it a room. Once that's added, we can scroll down to the WLED integration, click into the device, and you can see here all of the usual controls that the WLED integration offers. So now I think we're ready to head over to automations and create a new automation. We're going to select the trigger is a device. We're going to find the button that I added earlier and say when the button is pressed. Then we're going to add a couple of conditions just to make sure that they can't mess about with this button and these lights during the nighttime when they're supposed to be sleeping. So we've got conditions here that say when their asleep helper is turned off and the nighttime helper is turned off, this button press will work. And then in the final section, we're going to turn the light on first. We're going to select the light here. Then we're going to scroll down and set the brightness to 100%. And finally, we're going to collapse the light action and add a device action for the same light. But this time we're going to select the action at the bottom will be to change the boys' bed preset to the next option. So what I've already done in the WLED config at this point is I've selected a whole bunch of animations that I think the boys will enjoy, and I've created a preset for each one. So each time you press the button now, it's going to select the next preset in the list and they can cycle through them at will. And for the sake of completeness, I've also added another automation on long press that turns the lights off if they want. Well, I've got to say I'm pretty happy with how neatly that's gone around the inside of my boy's bunk bed. So now for the moment of truth. If I can find the button. I think the boys are absolutely going to love this. This is the bouncing balls effect in WLED. And as I said earlier, I just went through all the effects that I could see in WLED, and each time I thought, that's a pretty cool one. The kids are going to love that. I created another preset for that one, and in Home Assistant just told button press to move on to the next preset. As I run through some of these effects, I'm just going to let you know that you can buy any of the products featured in this video from my website. There is my LED controller, there is the 12-volt flexible LED strip, which I'm showing you here, and the Sonoff Zigbee button. Be aware that as an Amazon affiliate, I earn a small commission on any purchases you make through my links, especially my LED controller, which I am selling directly, which is a huge support to this channel. I personally think this is way cooler than those little glow stars you used to get as a kid. As always, I hope you like this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow me, all those good things. And remember, home is where the smart is.